Alrighty. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Doc here from North America. Another fun-filled day. It's Wednesday. It's Happy to Hump Day. It's the middle of the week, and we're seeing, as you can see on J4X there, you can see the Swiss, kind of going sideways, up a little bit. It's red. You see the white line moving up, so it's telling us. And down below, we were playing around with yesterday during the webinar. We were having a conversation on ask bid volume or open interest. I think that's what it's called. One or the other. I think it's volume. I think it's trying to identify open interest and opening positions, closing positions, and so we have that on the screen there too. Over on our Chicago Quant, you can see the euro, not the euro. I'm sorry, the Swiss right there. You can see that moving up. So, and when you really think about the news that's going on at the moment, the situation in the Ukraine, the question marks of some of Mr. Biden's policies and ideas and concepts, we're really stuck in a very strange place at the moment. The saying here in the United States is that the cavalry, like in the old cowboy movies, the cavalry is over the hill and coming soon, which means that they believe in the November elections, they're going to wipe out this insanity in the House of Representatives. And a lot of people don't realize that the checks that are written by the U.S. government are basically written by the House of Representatives. So not the Senate, not the President, but spending money, it all comes from, writing those checks comes from the House of Representatives. And we're going to get a totally different type of character in there, where we believe that it could be so large that it'll be veto proof, which means that if the president says I don't like that, they can vote and have more votes. If they have a 2/3 majority, they can actually override his veto. So some of the polls are showing that we have the potential to actually have a veto proof majority, which is an incredible thing. It's never been seen before for the Republicans. The Democrats have had them for, off and on for, 100 years, 150 years, things like that. But the Republicans have not had them since the U.S. Civil War. That's how far back it goes. So, as much as people, wonder what, how is the economic policies going to change, and so forth. That is the answer to it right there. But we'll be watching and seeing. Anyway, you can see oil and so forth this morning has perked their heads up. We're seeing a move up in oil again. Nothing major in the sense that it's not exploding. We're back up to that 112, 113 area, which is a 2/3 bounce. We see that going on, and you can see here the Swiss, who looked like it was heading down, kind of showing that the dollar was weakening, all of a sudden is firming up again. So it's like, ooh, dollar's firming up again. And you would assume so, because we're seeing interest rates really, moved an incredible 80 basis points. 100 basis points is one full interest rate, 1 full percent. And so we've seen like the 10-year bond in the United States is trading, was trading at 160, 1.50, 1.6, 1.4, is now trading at basically 2.4, 2.3 in that area. The German Bund, the short-term German Bund, or I guess not the short-term, but the 10-year Bund, which was trading minus 0.38, is now trading 0.50 in the plus. They're actually paying an interest in the German Bund. And so we're seeing that. We're seeing our 30-year bond trading in the 230s. It was trading in the 170s. So we're seeing a lot of shift in interest rates and so forth. Oh, let me start the chat line. Get rid of that. Go to that. There we go. And we're at the Dukascopy webinar site. Let's see what's going on. All right. Right there.
What?
There we go. There we are. I don't see anybody on the chat line, so okay, we haven't missed anybody asking any questions. That's good. And so at this point in time, we'll go back to looking at the pairs and getting a better flavor of what's been going on. Let me just make sure. Yep, there we go. Make sure I hear my voice. There we go. Good. All right. So we're seeing the dollar firm. We're somewhat surprised that, you can see here 2 days ago it went down, hit the top end of the range, which it's above at the moment. There's that whole range that's been bouncing around. And it hit it and bounced back up. And so you can see that pressure on Monday from it. At the same time, we've got some green dots going on. We got the volatility signal right there, the red and the green, and next thing you know, it's trying to lift its head up. And that weekly is in a buy, and I've been mentioning it in the webinars. Don't discount that push, on the upside with the weekly. It's saying, hey, we don't want to drop back inside the range. And this all could be based off of, as I've said over and over again, the ranges may shift, and I'll need to see a couple weeks of it to be able to get a definition of what's going on, to be able to change the range the way we defined the first range a couple years ago. So we'll just sit back and watch, or see if it climbs back underneath it and starts to trade, or it starts to bounce, use the 50 percentile as the bottom end of the range, and then it starts to establish a whole new range. And again, we're seeing interest rates in the United States basically, leading the world up. I understand that someone was showing quotes of where was it? It was Australia and so forth. They've really pushed it up even higher than us, much higher than us. We're seeing some, everybody's moving up in the interest rate factor, to try to combat the inflation. Got to do that. I myself, I know this is a strange thing to say, but I really think it's more policy than it is anything else. And so I think that it won't take much to get rid of this inflation. And so we'll probably see, it's going to be a little challenging to see how these ranges redevelop themselves. All right, from there, we jump over to the euro. See what's going on with the euro this morning. The war is not helping the euro out, that's for sure. You see a third day in the red. As it loads up. There we are. You can see here, there's that indicator we were looking at yesterday. Didn't see too much that gave me anything particular about it. I was hoping that the webinar host, the webinar trader that came in and told us about it, takes a look at it and says that's good, or not looking right, or something like that. Just to get an idea. Because I looked at it for an hour or so, a good hour yesterday, and I smoothed it out so I could see it. And I haven't dedicated enough time to it yet. I was waiting to see, of that trader to come back in again. We could explore more of the idea of it. They were very complimentary, I can say that much. Let's go over to Chicago Quant and put the euro up on that. And you can see there, it just keeps on finding a way to be weak. And of course, it's not that big a surprise. You can see we are in a weekly sell. And the only thing that is showing any strength at all is the 5 out of the super 5. Can you see that? Let's see if I go like this again. Right there, yeah. So you can see the super 5 gas line indicator I'm lighting up there at the bottom. And let's see if we can move this mousey around to be able to show you that. Right there. See, that's the super 5 indicator. Super 3-5 is a combination of the gas line 3 with the plot 1 of gas line 5. And that's what the blue dashed line is. And you can see that strength that's trying to kick out. It got through the time manifold. It's trying to lift. And when you get the green line to join in with that together, that's usually very indicative. It's a definite warning that there's strength coming, especially when you have the daily in a buy. But see, we don't have the daily in a buy. It's 3 days in a sell, and we're getting that weakness there. You see the three dots there, and you can see it on J4X. Right here, 3 bars. And then at the same time, you've got on the J4X, you got the white O, as I call it. And that's not enough. We need, we've seen it happen here like that. But the moment that the echo got past the 0 line again, it began to crush the market. The market got collapsed from it. It went from basically 113 down to 108 or 108.06. Yeah, basically 108. A five handle move in a matter of 6-7 days. So that's a pretty hard pounding. All right. From there, we drift over to where we go from there. I think I've explained all that. Yeah, that's good. And anybody want to ask a question, be my guest. Ask a question. I love questions. And we'll see what's interesting. Let's go J4X real quick before we leave here. And let's make that the whole screen. I want to show you this indicator that we started playing with. Notice that, these yellows, that's the down moves. And notice that they kind of caught the bottom here. And the first green, we saw the strength. And then again, we see the yellows and a green here. And we start to see some strength. And then you can see the yellows again. And it pulls it down. And that's cool. And then we got a green. And you can see it's trying to bounce up right there. But the next day it rolls over. We get a yellow again. But then the thing that confuses me is this action here. Is that we have 5 days, 6 days of 6 out of 7 days of green with the thing breaking. So I'm not sure how to interpret that. Because it broke away from that pattern back here. Then it does it again here. You get your green here, a back and fill on that day, and then more green again. Look at the strength of that green, and it does find a way to go up. So it's interesting. It's a good tool. It seems to be pretty much giving us a clear direction on some action here. The only one that confused me is this one right here. Why we were seeing all that 5 or in this case here 6 out of 7 days of green as the market rolled over. The product itself. That's the only one that's got me a little confused there. So we'll hope and see if the trader comes in today, and we'll try to get an interpretation how I have it set up if I'm matching up to what they use. Okay. Now, what we'll do is we'll drift over to the British pound against the dollar, right there. And you see the white line is trying to curve here. And at the same time, you can see lots of yellow here. And we got the one green here. And then we got a yellow, but it rolled up. And what do you have here? You have a green, a yellow, a nothing, a green, a yellow, a yellow. So is it trying to tell us that they're going to break down now? I think that's what it's trying to tell us. And if we look at it in a much larger characteristic, there's a lot more yellow here. You see this line was rising too at the same time. I'm not sure how to interpret that with it going down. And then you can see more yellow. Then it starts to try to build a bottom with the greens and a yellow, and then I guess 2 days of nothing, and then it's yellow again, and kind of, if this had been green, it would have been great because it would have identified this strength in there with the white line moving up. So, and then here it tells us about the flatness, which is okay. You got all this yellow, and you can start to see a green develop, but again, it's kind of surprising. It's not bad. It's 3 out of 5 with a no, with nothing, and then a yellow. So the negative is the yellow. So you can see there, it's trying to lift, and that matches up. And then this is the good part, is that all that yellow with all that down movement. And now you can see here, green, yellow, nothing, green. It's trying to tell us there's strength, but the last 2 days we've had yellow. So we see our white line rolling over on the J4X, and we're trying to understand, does that mean this is going to roll over again? That's what we're trying to understand here at the moment with this new indicator. All right. Over on Chicago Quant, let's get it up there on there. Right there. You see here, we've been in a daily buy now this is the 6th day. No doubt it's down for the day, and you can see the pressure. Also, this has that Bollinger Band up there up top. Someone had asked about that a few months ago, and we've left it. Now you can see our manifold, our time manifold. I made them the same colors as the Bollinger Band to give you a general idea of how ahead of the curve our manifold is. You can see here the Bollinger Band turns down. Now there's no doubt the red is bottoming and starting to turn up, but in our case here you can see our top part is taking off and moving up even more, whereas this was rolling over. So it just shows you that how much our math is ahead of the standard deviation concept of Mr. Bollinger. And then you can see here on the weekly, we still have all that pressure going on. It's been in that weekly sell. We do see the blue, dashed line trying to lift, but again, if it had gotten through like this with this daily buy, I would have expected more strength out of it. And we did get some strength out of it, which was nice. It was above the green line, so that's kind of positive. And it started to pierce through the manifold a couple days ago, right in here. But we're not getting that much of an explosive move out of it at the moment. And let's see what else. Everything seems to be right. Our math picked up the strength on the short term on a day-to-day basis. Our weekly is trying to turn up. You can see the histograms and the green line trying to turn up, but they're not really giving us any. They're not getting through like it did over here, where they all get over the minus side of the manifold, and it starts to lift, and you got the daily buy and this stuff going on, and the line's busting through, and there's strength, and this is joining in, and you get winner chicken dinners. It's like very successful. A good indicator of future movement. That's basically what it does. It shows you future movement, and it's not a statistical like a bell curve. It's an actual like a linear algebraic expression showing you like a speedometer in a car or a compass. Our math works in that fashion, not like a bell curve where it's a statistical average at all. All right. From there, we drift over to our pal, the Turkish lira. Let's see what the dollar Turkish lira looks like this morning. That has been a really good tool to learn from, watching our math and Turkish lira. You can see here it's still banging around the top of the rectangle. It's just banging there. It just doesn't want to let go. Now, we're in a weekly buy as much as it's drifted to the zero line and then climbed back up. We're in a weekly buy now for weeks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Going on the 7th week of a weekly buy when it comes to the dollar Turkish lira. We went into a daily buy here, and we were in a daily buy there for most of those moves. Put the lines in there. Since we don't really follow this, I'll just put the goes right there. Now move it over one. We just follow the Euro Turkish lira at this point. But let's just add them in there like that. Because it's in a weekly buy, we'll emphasize the daily buys from it. Is that it right there? Yeah, I guess that's it. There we are. So it has been, it's been doing its job. The math is doing it right. The rectangle that we've identified as a new range of this product is playing hard on the top of the surface of it. Let's save that. And what we're going to do is we're going to jump over to now the Euro Turkish lira. Let's go over to Chicago Quant and take a look at the Euro Turkish lira. And there it is, right. Where is that? Right there. And as you can see here, Let's fix that too. You know, it'd be interesting. Let's do this real quick, and it's this. What happened there? Let's take a look at it with this new indicator. You can see, it's lots of yellow with that down move, but it didn't seem to pick up. I guess when it goes into these empty spots, that can be the positive, I guess, at the same time. And you can see we get some strength out of that. But then we jump into all these yellows again, and it's still climbing and going up in value. So I'm a little perplexed on how to read this. Now here is interesting, is it picks up a lot of green here, and it's starting to pick up the strength that's coming. So this is like a combination of volume and open interests, and buyers and sellers, looking at the numbers of them. I'm always a little leery about that. I mentioned that yesterday. I'm leery because we don't see the derivatives, the option derivatives and the binaries combined with that. When you combine the two together, it's much more insightful than just looking at open interest and buy and sell on an underlying product. When you see the options market combined with it, you get a better, way better indication of what's going on. There's a fellow out there, Chris Cadbury. Chris, I've known Chris for maybe 40 years or something like that. He was a member of the American Stock Exchange, and he is part of the Cadbury family, and older gentleman at this point. And end result is he's done a lot of research on open interest with options and the underlying products. And if you're curious at that, he has done some really magnificent work over the decades. All right. From there, let's move over to, there it is right there. We have it up on the Chicago Quant. You can see how, let's shrink this down again. As you can see here, it's staying inside its triangle, so that's cool. You can see here the daily buy was a good signal, and now we are today flirting with the daily sell as we speak. And we've been in a weekly buy for that little move up, and this is trading a lot different than the dollar Turkish lira. This is trading, and I really do see the euro Turkish lira. Both, the math works great on both of them. It's just that I find that the Turkish lira, euro Turkish lira pairs trade is a much more consistent pairs trade. It carries, it goes into a buy, it stays in a buy, it goes into a sell, it stays in a sell. It's a much more consistent product like that. And I imagine that's the key to that all is location, location, location. In other words, it's bordering the European Union. It's part of the European Union on some levels. It's been applying to be part of the European Union. It's part of NATO. So there's definitely some, solid interaction going on between Europe, let's put it this way, not Europe, but the European Union and Turkey. I mean, there's a lot of action. Mr. Erdogan has moved a little bit further away. Pre-President Erdogan, Prime Minister Erdogan combination there, they were moving very close to getting connected to the, becoming part of the European Union. But that has disappeared since he got moved up the ladder in controlling the country as the leader. So, but it's still, I find this pairs trade a much more accurate pairs trade compared to the other pairs trades out there. The dollar euro, dollar Turkish lira pairs trade. All right, what else can we say about this? Looking at our math, you can see it's curving a little bit, playing with the time manifold right there. And we're using a gas line 7. We'll light it up for you. Oop. Right there. You see it there, we're lighting it up. Right there. Gas line 7 on the weekly. Just because of the beta of this thing was so wild for so long. All right. From there, maybe if it calms down, we'll be able to get the 3.5 in there, or at least a 5 in there. Slow it down a little bit. All right, from there we'll jump to the Canadian. Now the Canadian, look at that. It's adhering to the range very comfortably. And that little, we went into the daily sell right here. Let's put that in there. Let's save that. Save workspace. And so you can see we are flirting in the opposite direction after it hit the what is that? That hit the top end of the range, and we were moving towards the middle end of the range right there. You can see the green line where the green dot is, and that's the 50 percentile back and fill. It seems to find a bottom now here in the 0.618, which is curious. It bounces off of it there and there and there. So over the last couple months, it seems to be finding a way to bounce off the 618. Now here it's hunkered in. If it breaks that, and we do a little curve here, and we start to head back down, since we are already in a weekly sell, and as you can see, this is a combination right here. You can see it's the 3-5. You can see the echo of the 5 right there with the dash line. It's holding underneath. So the pressure is on for this product to fall down. And we've seen this before when they play with numbers like that. They find a way to do a little bounce and then, pop back up again. In this case here, if it breaks that yellow line and closes on, no, I don't want to do that. I want to move those lines. Let's get them back in the spot they belong. There they are. And so, if it does break the 618, it may run to the 50 percentile right here, and it'll park itself down in there for a little bit. Now we see oil going up, so it's kind of surprising to see the Canadian start to bounce back up again today, because that's how we move, as we move away from that, to the oil market. Let's first get Canada up on. Let's get the Canadian pairs trade up there on the screen. There it is. You can see it's trying to bounce up too, just like our math is trying to bounce up right here. A lot of red, just like we were. A lot of red dots. Don't do that. There we go. Let's see what the Robin has to say. Monsieur Robin, what's hooking?
Aren't you on the air?
Yeah, can't you hear me?
No.
I can hear it on one of my machines.
This is 2323, right? Yeah. No, it's showing upcoming to me. Yours is working?
Yeah.
I see the thing with you holding the, what do you call it, heart listening equipment. It says one waiting, scheduled for March 23rd. That's today.
Yeah, click on it again. Refresh your screen.
That's weird.
Yeah, refresh your screen.
I am.
Yeah, because I can see it on. I have it on.
Now I see it. Now the arrow wasn't there.
Ah, okay. Bye-bye. Okay, so what do we got going on here? So there's the Canadian, and you can see. Let's make it larger too to get a flavor of how this new indicator we're looking at, how it's acting. See, here is we have some green, and then we have an empty, and then green, and then more yellow, about equal too. But we see the movement here moving up. Line's moving up, so we kind of learned that. You see the line moving down. Maybe the line is the bigger part of this all. Combining the line with the these colors here, the green and the blue. I'm sorry, the green and the yellow. So it's I'm not colorblind, but with that yellow there, maybe that's the identifying thing. And you can see when it breaks down in here, it's more indicative of a top here. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's what the whole action is more this, and then maybe this represents strength or weakness from it. So in other words, you see all this green, you see this kind of movement, and then takes off through it. It goes, makes a peaking high here a couple days later, right there, and right there it makes the peak, and then starts to break down, and I guess green, and yellow tells us that we're going to see weakness there. I guess that's how that works. Maybe that's the way it works really in the end, is watch the line may be more important than the colors. Ah, there you go. Robin's in the house. Okay. So let's see, where are we going? We're going to, and then I guess if this will bottom in here like it did there, and we start to get some greens down here, I guess that's indicative of strength. And obviously you can see our white line is already giving us a heads up that something's coming on the upside. This is what? This is Canadian. And you can see it over on Chicago Quant. Same thing. We're trying to lift here. Now, if we would get that weekly turned up, I guess that would be the best of all. As I would, we would know, especially with the 5. All right. From there, we take a look at oil, and let's take a look at oil and see what's going on with oil. Here comes oil. There it is. And as you can see there, we have the Canadian on the left on J4X. And you can see here the oil is still climbing. I mean, obviously it goes up and down, up and down. But okay. So that's it right there. Daily buy strength, and we're seeing over here on Canadian and J4X weakness. And in the product also, and the same thing on Chicago Quant. Weakness. Kind of that's what's normal. In other words, it's when you see this weakness, it going down means it's getting stronger against the dollar. So at least it's confirming that move. Now all of a sudden it's hit the 0.618 and it's stalling out. And we see our math totally turning up. Again, notice the coordination between Fibonacci sequence with our mathematics. Notice how our mathematics is ahead of the Fibonacci sequence all the time. So it really says something. I say that on my LinkedIn, how before there was I think I say it, before there was a Fibonacci sequence, there was just my formula, the shape and value of time. That's what my formula is it's the shape and value of time. I measure time differently. All right. From there, we move over to, let's see, so there's Canadian. And we see the way oil, let's just show you oil again if I can find it here. There it goes like that. And there's the oil. Now what we'll do is we'll take a look at gold. And see, usually gold kind of follows the Canadian around also. As you can see right there, it was flirting with the daily buy. It still is. We're above the histogram there. After 10 or 11 days, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Going on 11th day in a sell, and it's starting to lift up. At the same time, we've been flirting with the weekly sell here. This is a 5. So, in other words, the plot 1 is the histogram. So this is a gas line 5. This is not a 3-5. So you can see it's breaking down here. Not bad, it could bounce back up. I mean, today is Wednesday. It's not impossible. If we get into a daily buy here, it'll pull the weekly back up again. All right, and from there, since gold is showing, sideways strength, we would assume that the South African rand is moving down, and meaning it's stronger against the dollar. So let's drift over to that. Right there we are. There's South African rand, and that's what it's doing. It's doing what our math is telling us it's going to do, and the correlation between gold and oil with Canadian and gold with the South African rand. Let's put it up on the screen here for you. Right there on J4X. It's a quiet day today. No real questions. I always like it when people ask questions or want to see a new product. I like that even more. I like both. Now let's take a look at this new indicator we've been looking at and experimenting with. You can see here, it did its little bottoming thing there, and it did pop up a little bit and then failed. Our math did the same thing, except for it popped up with this, and the red hinkies and the white line broke down, and so it's going down. Now we're seeing green in here again, and thinking that there's strength coming, and obviously we're seeing this thing climb still, so it's trying to tell us that it wants to climb. The peak is somewhere around here on the product at the moment, right there, and then you can see it trying to head down, and it does go sideways down. It's following the price of the product pretty well, but you see here it tries to turn up there, and we're moving down on the product, so it's kind of confusing, because on our indicators, what we call the Manhattan indicators, it is definitely telling us that it wants to go down in value, and it does. It goes down in value, and the reds tell us it's going down in value, and they do. It goes down in value. So this is interesting how it bottoms out in here again, moving up. Finally, the green joins in, and the white line, our white line, takes off, whereas this white dashed line has been constantly trying to tell us to buy, and it makes it tough because it's been going down, this whole move here. The greens and the yellows are a little confusing, but they may represent strength at times, like the topping here. Well, this one's a little odd too. It tops out off of that spike, but you get another 4 days or 5 days up. Whereas, our work, no doubt our work also did the same thing. It turned at that point there. Now, when was that? That was the 23rd of February. Now let's go take a look at it over here. Feb 23rd. That's where's Feb 23rd here? That's the Feb 23rd area. So here we were in a daily buy for all that move. We can widen that out and show you. And as good as the Manhattan indicator is for on our J4X chart, again, our math is the best. It's better than anything that exists as far as I know. And if anybody can find something better, please show me it, because I will. That's why I'm so curious when someone says, "Oh, I've got an indicator. You should check it out." Let's see what that is. Is that minus? Oop. Let's see what that is. That is, yep, that's the sell right there. That day it went into the sell. You can see it went down after a few days, or after vacillating up and down. And then it gets back into the buy just for, was that 1 day right there. And then it goes right back into the sell again. And you can't really take that buy, and most traders here who do watch our webinars know why. And the reason why you can't take that long on that 1 day is because we're in a weekly sell. Right there. It's telling us, do not. Ooh, this is a 3-5. Let's put the ghost, the echo in there at the same time. So we'll make that white, make that green, and we'll make that blue with, there we are. There we are. So you can see here, it's at this move as it's going up, being in the weekly sell, the green, the green is getting across. But look what the echo is showing us. The blue dashed line just not having the ability to even get into the plus territory as much as it is flirting with it. Giving us a good warning. Just like a compass tells you when it's north, south, east, or west. Just like when your gas, an indicator says, no, you're almost out of gas. Imagine if you didn't understand what a full tank of gas was, and you had not just only a light, but a arrow that showed you the amount of fuel in there. Well, imagine, just as nebulous as the market is, imagine if you had a gas tank that never told you where you were in your level of fuel for your machine, and all you knew is when the light went on, you were in trouble. It didn't have any fuel. And that's what our math is like. It's like having that gauge. It tells you when and where all the time. It takes quantum mechanics and throws it out the door. It's not such a thing as quantum mechanics tells you when or where. Or where, but not when. But Doc's math tells you when and where. And that's what this does. And that's and the Manhattan over here on J4X does a good job of trying to emulate it. Notice that as the white line is underneath, look at the hinkies. They're still showing strength. So you don't want to take the sell out of that at the moment, because it's telling you that they're still buying. It's green. And this indicator right here on J4X is better than any public indicator out there as far as I can tell. This is greater. This is a leading indicator, this combination together. It's a a very leading indicator. So just a heads up there, traders. You know, the whole idea here is to make money. It's not to just trade. And so we try to show you tools that will allow you to trade, be it an intraday, a weekly, a monthly, so forth. All right, so that's the South African Rand. Let's move over to, oh, and you didn't even see me pointing out what was going on the other chart that I just showed you. You know, how well it read it even better than the Manhattan. So, all right, if anybody wants to see it, again, we will show it to you. But we'll just keep on moving along since the clock is ticking. All right, from there we jump over to the Rube. Let's see what the Rube is doing. No action yet in Europe. There's no liquidity for them to be able to trade ruble. Let's see. We have, like I've said many a time, we have over $300 billion of rubles here in the United States. So we have room to trade it. As you can see here, it's breaking down again. And at the same time, you can see the weekly has been pressing hard. It wants to go down. Maybe this is a sign. This chart is a sign that this crazy conflict by Russia on its neighboring state is coming to an end. We just keep on hoping that that's what it's trying to tell us. And this looks like an island top. That looks like an island top. This is the Head and Shoulders. And an island top with a gap. So we keep on expecting to see this thing with this type of action. When we get into a daily sell, and with these lines in the weekly sell, we kind of think, okay, there's going to be some news that is going to end this just inhumane character event going on from Russia. They're just being so evil. And so, you know, we just hope that the math is telling us something. It usually does. It's usually ahead. It's that arrow. It's like the compass. And you can see they are trying to do something. It's an island top with a Head and Shoulders. And our math has been screaming for over a week now that they want to do something in a good way, not a bad way. All right. What else could we say about that? I guess not much. I guess when we finally start to see markets coming out of Europe on the ruble, we'll know that things are starting to smooth out even more. And by then, we'll be able to look back and go, oh, look at that. Doc's math picked it up weeks ago. All right. From there, we will jump over to check this puppy out. Oh, my goodness gracious. Look at the yen. How much we've been talking about the yen breaking out on the 5-year. And it has done it. And I said yesterday, and I say it almost every day now, Robin and I even wrote an article about it right there. Right there, we wrote an article. You know, that's the amazing thing, is we actually wrote an article and said that this was going to happen, and sure enough, it has. All right, and the big thing was to us was the gas line right there, as you can see in that spot there. The 5 really was screaming. I mean, it went into a weekly buy and it screamed right in with the gas line 3. I was like, wow, that's strength. And at the same time, we had closed. We were in a second day of the daily buy, and I thought, they have just shot the gun for the start of this, game or race. You know, boom! What a move it was. I thought we had stalled out in this area here, and you can see it did. It tried to, And then all of a sudden, in the last 2 days, it's popped even harder. I thought it'd go up into the 118s and stall out. It got the 119.5, and it didn't do anything but rip after that. Wow. All right, now let's jump over to the Mexican peso. Oh, let's show you what it looks like on J4X right there. And we'll take a look at this too. So we're going to make it a bit larger so we can interpret it more. Yeah, see, that's what's confusing me is, see, this line is moving down as our greens are moving up, and our Manhattan indicator here is rolling along on the J4X. That's the thing that has me confused. Is I'm not sure what this is interpreting here. Normally, it would seem to be like it showed you a peak there, but it's like maybe it's telling us that this isn't peaked out yet until this goes and spikes up even higher than, say, that peak or something like that. But look at all that yellow. I don't understand how that's functioning with that. So that's that has me confused. That trader will show back up and we'll go through it. And if that trader is listening, I don't want you to alter what you've been doing, because you may be right. I may have set this up wrong. Maybe you can help us out to get that indicator working better. If not, that's the way it goes. We have an old saying around here: nothing ventured, nothing gained. You have to explore and research over and over again. I do. I'm constantly doing that. There's many a time Robin has me going after something, and at the same time I'm doing my research. I'm always, my nickname, they gave me a nickname. I used to be called DocDow when I was on the trading floors. But up in the hedge fund industry, they used to call me the Ongoing Research Project. That was my nickname, the Ongoing Research Project. Because every day or every other day I'd walk in and go, I found something else. They'd be like, now what are you doing? It's like, it's still all part of the same thing. It's just I found another tool I can utilize. I can see how it makes it more accurate and we make more money from it. And they'd be like, yeah, that's you. You don't stop, do you? And they used to refer to me as the Ongoing Research Project. All right, and let's check out the Mexican peso. And there you can see there, it's moving back down to its natural bottom, or I don't know if natural, but it's been that bottom at that range. It's between here and there for a couple of years. And then, these are some odd spikes outside of it, and then it starts to respect it again. And let's put it over here so you can see it. Yeah, see that? It's moving back down to that range. And we've been in the weekly sell out of this whole move. It told us this was a false flag, and it went into the daily sell there and just rolled over. Now let's put it up on J4X right there. Same thing, lots of red. White line minus, and it's filling in now underneath on this new indicator. See how that plays out. Okay. Let's make it big so we can get a flavor of this thing here. So it's doing somewhat of the same thing. It did peak out there, so that's not too bad. And it's rolled down, and it's tried to give us a peak here, but don't really recognize anything particular there. And it was more yellow, or I guess it was tie. There was a lot more green really before this bottom occurred here. I guess you could say right there. It came from a lot of empty too. Look at those empty spots. See, I might not have this thing working right. And then from there, you can see, it starts to do some greens in here, and that's peaked there, but the white line is not really going anywhere. It's going sideways. Then it starts to take off here with the green, and we start to lift. Now here you can see our white line is pretty much adhered to that thing. Even when it tries to slide underneath it, we've got green bars going on there, and the Manhattan indicators are definitely moving in the positive there. Notice it's leading you in the right direction. That gas gauge is working. Not just a simple light that says, uh-oh, you got 20 miles left. Uh-oh. Okay. Or what's that? 35 kilometers left. And the next station is 40 kilometers away. Ah! All right. Let's see. Now that's the Mexican peso. I guess we're done. We're done the currency pairs. So we've done all the currency pairs we normally do. And now what we're going to do is we drift over to the metals again. And then we go and take a look at you can see here, there's gold. It's been feeling the pressure. And let's get gold up on the screen there. La da da dun 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 dun. There it is. There's the gold there. You can see it's doing its little oh, look at that. It's moved back up again. Yeah, maybe we'll lose that red dot. It's above, and maybe we'll get into a daily buy there. Maybe we'll start to see the weekly start to curve back up again. Then let's check out silver. Silver had gone into a daily sell there yesterday. And there it is right there. Woo! Check that out. What's that all about? That big green bar. I can't wait to see that. Let it load up. Wow. Now it seems to be reading silver really neat. Look at that. But it's even with the down sloping, it was all green. Wow. Look at that. Oh my goodness. I didn't change anything. Interesting. I know I don't have this thing in there right. I can't wait for that trader to show up this week and try to explain it to us better. I mean, I see some good attributes from it though. I do see that, but I know I don't have the numbers set up right in there. It's definitely odd. You can see here silver's trying to roll over a little bit. Let's put it up on Chicago Quant. Right there. Now it's trying to firm up too today. We got a red dot yesterday, and we went into the daily buy a couple days ago. Right there, we had the volatility signal that something was going on, and it perked up, but climbed, made another high, and then failed there yesterday. And now it's showing some strength. See if it tries to turn. The weekly had fallen underneath. We can remove that at the moment again because now it's back above it. So there's some pressure again on the upside here with the silver. They're buying the silver. All right, from there we'll jump over to copper. Right there. And right there. You can see we've been in a daily buy since this little bottom in here. We're still in that weekly buy for a long while now, for a few months. Went into weekly buy at the end of December. And now we're at the end of March now. So, it's been a good solid 3 months up on a weekly buy. It hasn't done a lot of positive, but it has stayed firm and up. And let's see what it looks like over here on this new tool on J4X we're playing with. Those bars are not up on that one, that's for sure. And you can see here the it's, look at that, that was moving down, and yellow, more green, definitely more green, and it went up, and it broke down here on J4X there, and you can see it, it's our math following it very well. We're at the lows here, so maybe this is going to turn up. How they played with the weekly sell for the last day or two, and now we're moving back into the plus. Maybe we're going to see some really good action on the upside there. All right, and then we're going to drift over to the platinum and see what the platinum is doing. Since the platinum, that's right, we don't have platinum on J4X, so let's just leave copper there for a second and look at it over here. There goes the mouse. A mouse. We got mice all over the place in here. Mices to pieces. All right, and there's the mouse, and let's go show you the platinum. It seemed to lead us up to begin with, and it's still flirting with the, let's put that in there, the weekly sell. It's playing with that. There we are. And at the same time, our daily has been holding on since this low. We've been in a daily buy since there. Let's put that in there. So it's went into the sell there, and it's gone into the daily buy there, and now we're flirting with this weakness all this week, but still it's holding up in that daily buy. And this is a 3-5 super, as you can see right there. I'm lightening it up right there. Oh, you can't see that. Let's do this. You can see that right there. So you can see the it's not showing a very positive signal here. You can see, let's widen this out a little bit for you. I don't know, but I thought that the platinum was leading the market here in many ways. So right now, the blue echo is breaking down. If this was in a sell right here on a daily, I'd be like, watch out, baby. This thing's gonna get crushed. Even so, it's still very, very weak. This thing needs to turn back up. Or if this goes into a daily sell, they may go down to this area here, down to the 900s again. That could be a sign that Europe... Hey, Kelly, there you are. Yeah, we'll check it out. Do you notice what I have... what did I do? Did I just do something there? There it is. Okay. Oh. There you go. Check out the J4X. I have the indicator. Now, what's up with that? No, what is that? Done that wrong. There you go. I have it. There you go. See, I have the indicator you talked about yesterday. I'm trying to understand it more. It has some interesting aspects. Maybe you can help fine tune it tomorrow, because we're running out of time here. Let's show you what you need to see. But tomorrow, maybe you can pop in and we can go through your indicator again. Let's see. What are we looking for here? We're looking for Euro Swiss. There it is, right there. See if it matches up. And see, I don't think I put the indicator in there right. I see good attributes from it, but I'm not totally happy with the way it functions. And let's get that up there for you too. Right here. Euro Swiss. Euro Swiss. Right there. There we are. Yeah, you can see. Look at the super right there. Oh, you can't see that. Let me do that. Hold on a second. So you can see there. Now what happened? What did I just do? Did I turn it off? Oh, there it is. There we go. You can see there the blue echo of the 5 taking off. And if this was in a daily buy and this was in a weekly buy, I would think there's a lot of strength coming in. But I don't, until we see that, it's in its daily sell, it's in its weekly sell, I see the pressure still on it. And so, and you can see there, I have that J4Xing with the ask bid indicator that you talked about yesterday. We have to go through that again. So maybe tomorrow, pop in earlier. We can try to dissect that and figure out what I've done wrong. Check this out. You want to get a laugh? Check this out. Look this. This is the silver with the same, with the indicator. Right there. Look at this. Look at that. See, I've definitely put it in wrong. Look at all those bars. So we need your help to try to understand that more. All right, traders, we're out of here. Thank you, Kelly. And we will catch all of you tomorrow on Thursday. So this is Doc from North America saying arrivederci. Happy trails to you until we meet again, which will be tomorrow. Happy trails to you, to all our trading friends. All right, traders. Later.